Okay, I'm here with Mich Matthews from Microsoft. There's a game going on in the background. England is playing Slovenia, so Mich hopes that this video is disrupted by a goal, but I'm hoping it will not be. So, Mich, I want to start off with, I often hear Microsoft's brand compared to Apple's brand, but there's big differences between the two. What do you think are the main differences of the sort of brand challenges that like a company like Microsoft faces versus a company like Apple?
Yeah, I mean, if you compare the companies simply because of consumer advertising, I get why people say that. Well, there was shouts there. Apple's invested heavily in its consumer brands in the last several years, and frankly, we have not. If you just go back 3-4 years ago, we were largely a business company, and so our broad advertising, not many in a consumer audience would see it because it's business decision makers or IT people. But in the last, I would say, probably 18 months to 2 years, we have shifted considerably our spend. 70% of our spend now is to the consumer audience, and that's driven by the fact that our Xbox brand is very strong. We have a great new product coming out this holiday. We're entering into the phone business I would say, we have a really killer product. We started from scratch, so we launched a Windows Phone, again to a consumer audience. About 2 years ago, we decided to invest heavily in the Windows brand and, in essence, relaunch it and remind people about Windows and the great things that you can do with a PC. So that's a major global investment. And then in May last year, we launched a decision engine, which you're probably familiar with, but obviously a broad consumer audience. So our spend has shifted, so you will be seeing more of us. But I think up until that juncture, you probably say, wow, Apple's highly relevant in my home, it's a consumer company. Plus, Apple has that incredible retail presence, and that hasn't been traditionally an area that we invested in.
Okay, so on the Bing subject, I think a lot of times when people think of search, they think of Google. What are you guys hoping to accomplish with building Bing as a brand new brand for search?
Well, the key insight around Bing when we built the product was that number one used button in search is the back button. And that gave us a key strategic insight that clearly there's some dissatisfaction in this category because people are looking back over other searches. And when you're launching a new product, you're the challenger brand to a very well-established incumbent. You ask yourself, well, hey, am I going to go head-to-head and be scrappy and kind of swing at each other, or can I take a different approach, which is what we did, which is we decided to attack the category based on this dissatisfaction that we knew existed, but I don't believe it was really in people's consciousness. So, which is point out to people that there is an alternative to Google. Not that we're asking people to switch from Google to Bing. We recognize these two things coexist, but to point out the fact that if you want to make decisions, there is an alternative. There is this brand called Bing. Hence our branding of it as a decision engine.
Okay. So, final thing, you work with a lot of agencies. What's your sort of number one pet peeve of working with the agency world? I'm sure you don't have any problem.
No, I love them all.
No, all equally.
Children too.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's a pet peeve, but it's a challenge in this crazy world we live in, where there's such media proliferation and there's new media, new channel at the moment, is the separation of media and creative. Because I see some of the best ideas or the best work is when those two things are working in tandem. So organizationally, having those in separate entities, and if you're like us, having multiple creative agencies, but media concentrated in one place, that becomes a real challenge that the client has to do the integration. And I think where I'm seeing amazing success is when you get those two. I think that's USA. It was USA.
Carrying on.
No, go on. When you get those two things integrated, some beautiful work can happen. But the challenge is, for me as a client, rather selfishly, we have to engineer that on the client side more happening naturally because these people are all in different organizations.
Okay. Well, Mich, thanks so much. I'm sorry England didn't score.
They will.
Okay, thanks.